GamerCast Network.
Hey! Alright. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode number 48 for Friday, July 27th, 2007. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call, Ivan, your question please.
If you could only play one genre of video game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
And joining us this evening is Tom.
FPS, maybe?
You like puzzle games a lot.
I have been playing a lot of Catan, only because I want the stupid ranked matched achievements, and you have to play so much, and I had a realization. Microsoft managed to take the absolutely worst part of World of Warcraft and apply it to other genre of games, and that's the grinding.
The grind?
So now I'm just grinding through to get achievements, and I'm
Wow.
like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, a lot of those Xbox Live games are doing that. There's like 12 achievements or something for Uno, and I have 11 of them because the 12th one is win like 50 ranked matches or something stupid like that. Since Uno involves little to no skill whatsoever and is completely luck, you have to play 5,000 games to win 50.
And also joining us this evening is Bob.
Now, I realize this game hasn't come out yet, but I'll assume Hellgate London will be the awesomest game ever, just from the trailers and the reviews that I've read so far. That and it has the most syllables for a genre, so I will pick FPS MMORPGs as my choice for the only genre of game I can ever play again.
That's like the only one. What if it sucks? All right, you picked it. And if it sucks,
I
you're
picked
stuck.
it. That's
You're
fine.
stuck.
And Ivan.
I would have to pick RPGs, Final Fantasy, and the like, because you would never, ever, ever be bored for the rest of your life. You could probably play the same game for the rest of your life. I put like 240 plus hours into Oblivion, and I just started the Shivering Isles expansion. So I got another 40 hours left in that.
Well, okay, I'll give my answer. See, I can't copy an answer because I was going to go with Bob's answer, a first-person shooter MMO role-playing game. I would say as my first choice, that would be it. A second, a high runner-up would be a space simulator like Wing Commander, those kind of games. Preferably an MMO, which I don't think there really is a MMO space simulator yet. And in GamerCast Network community news, be sure to check out Podtacular, episode number 121, where they talk about their impressions of the Halo 3 demo from E3 and the EA Skate community event. And check out the E3 interviews and roundtables from Gamertag Radio featuring Xbox360fanboy.com and John Rodman from Microsoft. And be on the lookout for a new episode from Uncle Gamer Radio.
Next topic.
What about MUDs, Ivan? Do you count MUDs as RPGs? Or would you count them as MMOs?
Yeah, actually, I would say that MUDs would be MMOs, because I remember back in the day running around shouting to people looking for a group. LFG, man, LFG.
Do kids even know what MUDs are? So we had these MUDs, which were basically text-based MMOs, for lack of a better description. A lot of them were fantasy-based, so you'd go in and create a character, a warrior or a wizard or a thief. So you wanted to move north, you'd type N. You wanted to kill something, you'd type kill troll, and you'd start a fight. It was a very much MMO-like fight. I mean, it would take a good 2 minutes or so to actually resolve.
And don't forget the fact that MUD stands for, like, multi-user dungeon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You'd start up your DOS command line and telling that into a MUD server, and there'd be like 50 other people there, and most of them were all also college students. It was a lot of fun, very addicting.
I remember back in the day playing Burning Mud. Did you guys play that?
Yeah, you guys were on a different MUD than I was on.
I was with Tom in Arcadia.
Which is still, Arcadia.net's still around. But I think we kind of hit the sweet spot. Like I think we kind of hit the heyday of mudding.
Me and Chris and company got started early, I know.
I remember Phil was ultra hardcore on that because, so listeners at home, everyone here except for Bob all went to the same university together. And every night at like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, they would reset the VAX system. That was our computer system at school. And after the reboot, I would log on to the system and just see who's there, and there would always be Phil logging back in, starting a Telnet session.
And look where he is today. Instead of typing in commands in a MUD, he's grinding away at World of Warcraft.
You're right.
Which is more proof that MUDs are just non-graphical MMOs.
Next topic.
Have you tried the Xbox Live Arcade Wing Commander?
No, I have not touched that piece of crap game. Actually, since you talked about Project Sylphid, I tried the demo, found I liked it a lot, and picked it up. Now, for our listeners, Project Sylphid is a space simulator shooter kind of game that came out a couple weeks ago. And, Ivan, what do you think about it?
I enjoyed it. The reason I didn't buy it, and actually, I probably should have, because later on I found out that it's not a full-priced game. It's only like a $40 game. The reason I originally wasn't going to buy it was because I felt like there was really no structure. Every mission seemed like it was just fly around and shoot the crap out of stuff, which isn't a bad thing, but
it's more of an arcadey type of space simulator. It isn't as simulator-esque as Wing Commander. Lots of things going on. You kind of get confused at certain points, like what the hell is really happening, because it's space, it's big, and all you see are the trails from the engines of your ships.
Did you play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter? I'm sure you did if you enjoyed those types of games.
Yes, I played all those.
Did you at least get that kind of feeling again playing Project Sylphid?
Not really that one, because in those ones I still had a sense that I knew what was happening. I could visualize the battle in my head. This one I'm having a problem visualizing everything that's happening at once.
Yeah, plus all the frickin' colors. It's like the color troll just ran up and barfed on you.
Yeah, if you are susceptible to epilepsy, you probably don't really want to play this game because lots of flashing
Yeah.
things and going off, and you could just start you on a whole little stroke.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, it is confusing. Someone said on our forums that they didn't like the demo because they just didn't know what the hell was going on, and I can understand that. Someone had said the full game, it kind of warms you up to it more slowly, ramps you up into all the mayhem, so that's why it seems to be going that way slowly right now. I still have to play it a little more to get a better appreciation. I just played like an hour of it, so. Unfortunately, there is no online multiplayer, which would have been killer.
Plus it doesn't have Mark Hamill.
No Mark Hamill, unfortunately.
Holy cow. Mark Hamill? He's 55 right now. Mark Hamill's the same age as my father. That blows my mind.
Next topic.
So have you guys seen the latest Hellgate trailer from E3? And for our listeners, I'll put a link to it in the show notes.
Yes, I did.
It is chock full of sweetness. I think this will be the game that finally pries us away from Titan Quest.
As soon as I saw the, whatever that class was, the Guardian sword guy swinging and spinning, I said, that's Bob's character right there.
The fact that you can have that guy and then get a summoner in there and then also have just a sniper class with a sniper rifle behind him and have them all in the same game and a decent excuse for it at that, and then you're fighting exclusively demons the entire time. And that's
Demons and zombies, baby. I'm kind of disappointed, though. I went to the official Hellgate London website, and they still only have 2 classes listed.
No, there's tons of classes.
I know, but I'm telling you, on the Hellgate London site, they only give you information about 2 of them.
That's because you have to pay $10 a month if you want to see the other classes.
There's the Summoner and the Guardian and the Marksman, I think they were called. Marksman is your sniper / ranged guy. I call dibs on him, by the way.
I figured.
No, but I like the idea of modding your weapons. You're going to be able to make your guns bigger and meaner looking.
Yeah, it sounded a lot like how in Titan Quest you can add runes and things to your weapons.
That part reminded me a lot of Auto Assault, where the whole thing is half of the game is leveling your guy and half of the game is pretty much leveling your equipment.
Yeah.
There's just mods of all shapes and sizes everywhere, and you can pretty much customize your guy to do whatever.
Oh, by the way, so the guys that are making Hellgate London are called Flagship Studio. So they're creating, I don't know what you want to call it, a lightweight MMO or a toy MMO as a test bed for Hellgate London technology. And they're calling it Mythos. And it's going to be a fully fleshed out MMO universe. But it's going to be more free MMO, and it's going to be more cartoony than like Hellgate, which is very gothic, hellish, whatever feel. And Chad, you got in the beta for Mythos?
Yeah, but I don't think I can talk about it.
Oh, you're under NDA?
If I could talk about it, I would, but I can't.
Yeah, just wink 2 times if you like it, I guess.
Next topic.
Ivan, you're a big Marvel comic book fan.
Yeah.
Have you ever played any of the Marvel fighting games for the various consoles?
I have never owned any. I've played Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, there were lots of Marvel vs. Capcoms. The most recent one that came out was Marvel Rise of the Imperfects, which was not very well received.
Yes, I actually had that for my PSP when I had a PSP. But that's only... no, I guess that's it. See, yeah, but...
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Believe it. I guess, yes, that is a fighting game, although it's much more open than traditional fighting games. To me, like, a fighting game is Mortal Kombat, or if you want to go 3D, like Tekken or Virtua Fighter, where the fighting arena is somewhat enclosed, small. Rise of the Imperfects had much larger areas for fighting, so you could actually lose your enemy for a couple of seconds because you're in different corners. It almost didn't feel like a true fighter. Plus, it kind of sucked.
See, you said it sucked. Okay, so today at the San Diego Comic-Con, EA Chicago announced they are developing a new Marvel fighting game. Now, EA Chicago is the one that did Def Jam Icon and Fight Night Round 3. So they're working on a new one, and one of the key things they're going to have here is they want to use the environment more, because they are trying to keep the characters' abilities in tune with their Marvel backgrounds, meaning Spider-Man in a hand-to-hand fight with the Hulk probably won't win.
Probably not.
Signs point to no.
But in the game, you're going to be able to have Spider-Man versus the Hulk. However, you're going to have to use your environment, like, collect debris, throw it at the Hulk. Use the environment in weird ways to try and take out the Hulk.
Rise of the Imperfects was kind of like that a little bit. You could pick up cars and barrels and whatnot and throw them at your enemies.
But, as strong as Spider-Man is, I don't think he could throw a barrel hard enough to hurt the Hulk.
To
I
knock
was gonna
out
say,
the
what
Hulk.
element is in your environment that you're going to use to pummel the Hulk? I would like to hear that description, please.
Yeah, this from the guy who picks up tanks and throws them like they were tennis balls.
Now, Spider-Man has fought the Hulk.
Yeah, but the only way Spider-Man would ever win against fighting the Hulk is if and when
Batman helped.
Spider-Man used his brains to figure something out.
Or he has more health when the time meter reaches 0. That's when he can beat the Hulk.
That's the only way he's ever going to beat the Hulk.
Maybe if you gave him a hug and then he turned back into Bruce Banner and then he stabbed him. There, big guy, why don't you go calm down? Calm down. There you go. There you go. Now hold real still and stab, 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 stab. I win! I beat the Hulk yet again.
I will point out, though, I know this because I am such an uber geek, that Spider-Man does have kind of a mental dossier on most of the heroes in the Marvel Universe.
No,
and
only the Punisher does. That's his power.
No, sorry.
Nope, no,
it's not a power.
No, that's it. Well, what other powers does Punisher have? That's his power.
It's not a power of Spider-Man. He just happens to know things.
Then he took it from the Punisher.
Maybe
See,
he did.
Palladino,
Maybe
I'm sticking up for you.
Actually, there was a Punisher story by Garth Ennis called The Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. Him systematically wiping out every Marvel superhero.
And I think actually, like, the way he beat the Hulk was he waited for, like, Bruce Banner to fall asleep or something, and he stabbed him in the throat.
And then I stabbed him.
Next topic.
EA has been dethroned as the largest third-party publisher. From January to June of 2007, EA had $365 million in revenues. Now, Activision had $397 million in revenues. So Activision is now the number one third-party publisher. And they attribute this to three things. We diversified our portfolio, we started acquiring studios. Oh, and by the way, have you heard of Guitar Hero? For Guitar Hero, they paid $100 million for the rights. And to them, Guitar Hero is the fastest brand to reach $1 billion in sales. And right now, its total revenues sit at about $1.8 billion.
Yikes.
You know what? I'm looking at their front page of Activision.com, and they do a lot of movie titles. I'm looking at Shrek, Spider-Man 3, Transformers.
Yeah, it's another big thing in their portfolios. They have lots of licensing of lots of movie titles.
Typically, as crappy as they are, they usually sell a lot. I mean, not 50 million copies, but...
Yes, those are the ones that make the great game called Transformers, where foliage can destroy a Transformer. So
That's true.
They publish Call of Duty.
that's going to be a huge seller for them this year, too.
Call of Duty 4 is supposed to be amazing. They do the Spider-Man games, which have always sold well.
They have a new Spider-Man one coming out called Spider-Man Friend or Foe. We always bash EA for having lots of sequels. Does Activision put out lots of sequels? I don't think so.
The thing with EA that I don't like in their sequels is they abuse them. They will put out a game every year. mean, how many Maddens have there been, for God's sake?
But okay, so yes, they put out a game every year that really isn't nothing much more than a roster update from the last year. But if you're going to put out substandard games like the Transformers game, which is not a very good game, I mean, is that better than putting out a sequel?
See, I think so, because those games appeal to somebody. The Shrek the Third game or Shrek Super Slam, no, we're probably not going to be buying those games. But you know what? I've seen 6, 7, 8, 10-year-olds playing games that I have seen, reviews of like 30, 40, 50%, and these kids are having a blast because Shrek is their favorite character of all time, and they have a Shrek lunchbox and a Shrek t-shirt and Shrek horns on while they're playing their Shrek video game, and they're loving every second of it. If you put it to me that way, saying pick which publisher you like better, EA or Activision, and the pros and cons are, well, EA produces games every year, and they're known for all of their sequels, and Activision produces crappy movie-titled games, I would go with Activision.
Well, I think oftentimes when we talk about EA and their sequels, what we really mean is EA Sports and their sequels.
EA also does the Command & Conquer games, and there are lots of sequels in Command & Conquer.
I feel those have been different.
EA has also done The Sims.
Yeah, see, and there's like 100 different Sims games, too. In SimCity, there's been at least 6 different SimCities.
The new SimCity that's coming out is the first SimCity that wasn't done by the guy who's doing Spore. What's the guy who's doing Spore's name?
Will Wright.
Yeah, the studio that Will Wright founded, I guess. This is going to be the first SimCity not done by them. They're busy working on Spore. And so these new guys, they want to kind of simplify, take SimCity back to its roots, because the original SimCity I thought was a blast. But then when the new ones came out, it's like Civ 4. I like the old Civs. I don't want to put the time into all the new features. Maybe that makes me a bad gamer, but I'm looking forward to the next new simplified SimCity game.
One of the big key features in the new SimCity is the ability to control how your society develops. So you can make them totally pacifists, or you can make it a total, Big Brother 1984 Orwellian society.
You can make an authoritarian society. You can make a society based on scholarship. You can make a society based on commerce and entrepreneurship. And all of these different branches you go down will affect kind of the feel, the atmosphere of the city that you build. So an authoritarian city is going to have like lots of cops in black uniforms walking around the streets, and an artistic society is going to have all kinds of happy color. And then you'll be able to send disasters like fires, destroy the city.
Sweet.
Next topic.
Since everyone here is building a new PC, have you guys decided to pimp it out with a new dedicated physics card?
Has anyone adopted the physics and put that into their game?
Games like Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter are using it. Right now, they're using it primarily for just to show more particles when things explode.
There was actually a thread about that in the GamerCastNetwork.com forums that Carmack had come out.
I like how you have to say the entire damn thing at the www.gamercastnetwork.com forums.
Well, just in case there's anyone who's in the audience who hasn't yet, participated in the great conversation that goes on there.
But yes, there was a thread about how Carmack came out against the physics cards because primarily of the multi-core CPUs coming out.
And when you're going to be able to dedicate a single core on these CPUs to physics, it just doesn't make any sense economically to have a whole expensive card in your box.
And especially in the future if GPUs get to the point of doing some of the physics as well, because you can use video cards to do non-video things.
What are they saying as physics? I mean, that's a very kind of vague. That's why I'm kind of curious what was the intention of the physics card, or what purpose it was supposed to be for.
Well, the holy grail for in-game physics, and I don't know how we're going to get there. Everybody wants the fully destructible environment. They want when you shoot a wall and it hits the correct beam, they want the whole damn building to fall in an absolutely realistic way. And, when I walk up to a piece of drywall, I don't want to have to hit the specific piece of drywall that the developers want me to hit in order to blast my way through the other room. I want to be able to hit the drywall at any point in the room. And that's the holy grail. And how are we going to get there? I don't know.
I mean, it's bad enough now to have to do that kind of thing not real time. Like random break apart something and make it, split in a good way. That's not a trivial problem. You could do something hacky now, because that's kind of what they do, is like what you're talking about. It's like the specific things that are supposed to be hit.
I think we already had mentioned this on the show, but just in case we didn't, so the studio that did Auto Assault, that poor studio that did Auto Assault, NetDevil, they have a demo coming out, something called like Urban Destruction. If you have one of these Aegea PhysX cards, you're going to be able to go into an urban environment and blow up buildings in absolutely realistic realistic ways, and they're supposed to fall realistically. And it's only a demo. It's not meant to be a full title, but it's supposed to show the possibilities that come from a dedicated physics processor.
It's supposed to show you the reason why you spent $300 on a dedicated physics card.
Next topic.
So, we know Vaibol makes crappy movies based on video games. However, earlier this year, he made a film called Tunnel Rats, which was set during the Vietnam War. I guess this has to do with a special forces team who are fighting the Viet Cong, in tunnels.
That's a rough job, tunnel rat. My dad would tell me about those guys. That's a rough job. He was too tall, so he never had to do it. So good for him.
Okay, so this film is now being made into a first-person shooter. It's coming out for the Xbox 360 and the PC.
Oh God, it's going his infection's going the other way. What you're saying?
From the studio itself, the game is very dark, violent, and dirty, and depicts war as the madness that it is. In the end, it's all about survival in a situation where everything you know and believe in goes to hell, and a fight for an impersonal goal becomes a very personal experience, one that changes you forever if it doesn't kill you. Like watching a Vaibol film would.
That sounds very dark. I don't want a moral in my violence. I just want violence for fun. I
want violence in my violence.
Exactly.
What's going to set this game apart from other games, you're going to be crawling through pitch black tunnels.
Yum.
I played Doom 3. I know what that's like.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're going to be stabbing Viet Cong while they sleep.
That's always fun.
That's something.
And you're going to be cutting off and collecting ears.
That's necessary.
No, that's what they did in Vietnam, didn't they? I saw Universal Soldier.
I thought Universal Soldier was set in the future.
Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme were Vietnam soldiers. They died in Vietnam time period, and then they were resurrected in future time period.
What isn't that the one with
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. But that's not what I was thinking of. What's the other one with the barcode tattoo on the back of the neck? I want to say that Kurt Russell in it.
Soldier?
Yes, I remember the one with Kurt Russell, and you're right. They would put tattoos, instead of getting like a patch for a particular campaign, they would get a tattoo on their face. For like a Mars campaign or some kind of Civil War insurrection put down, and that was their way of getting insignias.
Anyway, that's what I was thinking of when you said Universal Soldier. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a fine film.
All right, I believe you. I was thinking just soldier, not the universal kind.
They're like a Swiss Army knife soldier, damn it. They're universal.
They're soldiering.
And by the way, Vaibol has finished up principal photography on the adaptation of the video game Far Cry.
Oh God, why do they hate us so much? What did we ever do to them?
I want to know who's giving this jackhole money to make these movies.
Although I remember for the Far Cry film, he actually had an eBay auction where you could win a walk-on role.
Sign of a quality film.
You wouldn't want to be on a Vaibol film? Just to say you were on a Vaibol film?
In fact, one of the things I tout about myself that I've actually never been on a Vaibol film. I make that clear anytime I meet anyone. Hey, how you doing? My name's Bob. I've never been on a Vaibol film.
Next topic.
The National Institute of Mental Health, they were conducting a study where they were using a modified version of the Duke Nukem 3D engine to understand the factors behind clinical depression. Here's what happens here. Is they believe there is a link between depression and the size of your hippocampus.
A what?
Your hippocampus. It's part of your brain.
Oh, brain! Oh, because their size of something else also leads to depression. I'm just saying.
This is the part of your...
Hippocampus sounds dirty.
Them hippos got large...
Campuses?
Yes.
If you had your choice of any 3D engine, why are you choosing the
Hang on.
1996 3D engine? That's all I'm asking. That's the
Hang on.
only question I want answered here.
Hang on. Let's get to what their goal was before we talk about the engine. So this is the part of your brain that regulates your mood, your memory, and your spatial navigation. They find that people who are very depressed have a very small hippocampus. And they're not sure if that's what causes depression or if that's a result of the depression. So they want to study the size of the hippocampus and if you're depressed or not. If your hippocampus is small, your spatial navigation is very poor, i.e. you can't remember where things are laid out in maps. So what they wanted to do to study this was they took a modified version of the Duke Nukem 3D engine, probably because their graduate students only knew how to mod the damn Duke Nukem 3D engine.
Burn!
Those are some pretty damn old graduate students. They've been going to school since the mid '90s.
I'm just making that up, okay? But I don't know why they chose the Duke Nukem 3D one. They just took a Duke Nukem 3D engine and modified it. So they took out all the enemies, just made a simple map, and they basically took groups of people and said, okay, people who were clinically depressed versus people who weren't clinically depressed. They gave them some time beforehand to play around with the map, see where things were, and then they said, okay, now you have 3 minutes to go find these 10 things. Go do it. And they found that people who were depressed only found about half of the things that undepressed people found. Well, Bob, you can't memorize maps for a damn, can you?
No, I can't. But that's because I'm stupid.
So your hippocampus is very large, then, you would
Dude,
think.
my hippocampus is like a... Wait,
Oh,
I
God.
talked about...
No, but that is a story there. They don't know if it's a true diagnostic tool, but
Maybe they just don't care. They're just worried about something else. Yeah, they're like, my God, I can't believe I have spent my Saturday trying to find something in a Duke Nukem game that I'm not getting paid for.
You know, that's what I was sitting here thinking, though. If I'm chronically depressed to the point of needing
To
medication...
the point where I'm participating in campus research.
Right. And they tell me, sit down at this computer and wander around this map and look for stuff. I just have visions of the people going, yeah, I don't care. All I want to do is take some Prozac and have a beer and just lay down on the couch for a little while. And, oh, so look, there's a thing I'm supposed to find. And, you know, I'm so depressed. Oh my God, I'm so depressed. They didn't even include the strippers that I could throw money at. I mean, come on.
Next topic.
Mailbag! Changes!
so we know that we are the Googlers for our audience.
And the keepers of Wikipedia.
So we got a question here from Anthony. Hey guys, I was watching TV the other day and saw a life-size...
And that's what he said. He sighed when he, hey guys. I don't know why the hell I'm asking you this, but anyway, go ahead.
I was watching TV the other day and saw a life-size Toyota car racing game.
Wow, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
By Sega, I think. Are you able to tell me where I could purchase them from? I have gone to the Sega website, but no information. Thanks a million, Anthony. Well, by typing into Google, Sega Toyota car racing game, you will find that Sega makes a game, Sega Touring Car Championship. This is one of those sit-down cabinet arcade games where you have the driving thing.
Oh, that's what he's talking
That's
about.
what he's talking. Well, the thing is, the version he saw, they actually, instead of having a cabinet, it's a full Toyota car. They somehow modify the car so you can actually sit in the real car, and I guess it moves back and forth. It probably doesn't drive, but it's on some sort of pneumatic platform that goes back and forth and front and back when you turn the wheel.
That sounds very expensive.
Yes, so if you want to buy one, Anthony,
Oh, that was his question. Where can I get one, wasn't it?
I imagine that probably would cost the same as a car. So I don't know why the hell he's asking us this.
Well, I said thanks a million. Maybe he's rich.
I know. We'll volunteer to handle your money. We will make all of your video game purchases for you. Please deposit $20,000 into an account number that Keith will send you. Thank you.
There you go, Video Game Show episode number 48 for Friday, July 27th, 2007. Any ham sandwiches or Shadow Dream pies?
I would like to give a ham sandwich, as cheesy as this is, to all of the GamerCast Network podcasts because of their E3 coverage. I just got done listening to the latest episode of Uncle Gamer, and everyone knows that Godfrey and Gamertag Radio, they were all over E3, and I know that Podtacular had the stuff on the Halo Wars from E3. The amount of coverage of E3 from this network was just off the hook. It was crazy. Congratulations to everybody.
It was, as well as Achievement Junkie had lots of interviews as well. They did the 4-minute speed dating interview thing, and they actually had lots of good interviews.
And as always, send your questions, comments, queries, or concerns to the mailbag at vgs@gamercastnetwork.com, Skype us at Video Game Show, or call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long-distance call, and all normal fees apply. And I guess that's a wrap, so good night.
Nothing worse than big fat homeless people.
a heavy homeless problem. You got a dime or maybe a hot pocket? Really, hot pocket.
You got a hot pocket on you? Just say it. Because I wouldn't leave the house without a hot pocket or two. You know, in a backpack. No.
Ever been to LA? Me neither. You got a hot pocket.
A toaster strudel, something. Come on, man. Come on, I'm jonesing over here. Nothing with flaky crust.
How about a bomber pop? I haven't had one of those in a while. Those are. Is it hot? I'm hot. I'm hot.
No. I got a hankering for something with flaky crust, you know. How about chicken McNugget? No. I'd settle for some of them KFC poppers. I ate a baby.
I'm in the tub. Stuck.
Don't make me send the picture out again.